Good morning, everybody. Once again, this is Rakesh Shrestha, your regular English facilitator, and I'm here today for the English course with students of grade 9. Right here on the board, you can see what I've written. Let me just make sure that whatever I've written is correct, okay, because I was hasty. I didn't have sufficient time to write things on the board. So today is like mid-July 15, and it's Wednesday 2020, grade 9 English. That's correct. And question text resume. Yeah, of course, this is also correct because in my previous class last week, we were learning something about tags, and at the end of the class, I told you that because we could not finish due to time bound, we're going to resume with this. So partially, we will resume the tags and we'll try to understand the purpose, which I have already explained to you. In fact, I did a lot of efforts. I put a lot of efforts, in fact, to make you understand the purpose of tags, understand the relationship between the speaker and the audience or the listeners. And I have focused on the idea that if you're using a tag, you got to understand the intention of the speaker rather than rules. But again, when it comes to exam, score, marks, they will matter, and you would consider yourself better, only at a time when you obtain a good marks. So we will focus on certain aspects of exam, reviews, scenarios, and then we will discuss about the other complications of tag today. And of course, we'll have quite a lot of time saved from the first session, and we will jump into the next, and that is subject and verb agreement, which is also called concord, in grammar. All right, we'll proceed. So up to now in your tag, we have learned steps of forming tags. That's the first step. I remember I taught you 6 steps, and I also told you the steps are not final. Some people can remember 4 steps formula, 2 steps formula. Some can do it 5 or 6, whatever the numbers. Like take an example of me. I just don't need the step. I can quickly make the tags because I'm used to it. And that's how it works. I explained to you also about the intonation that people prefer to use, the rising and the falling intonation for using tags. Like when you're using assertive sentence, you're speaking statements. I prefer to use the falling intonation. You are listening to me. That's how I say. But if I'm going to make a question, I would use a rising intonation. Are you listening to me? And that's how it matters. And that is the same skill I taught you in applying tags. Along with that, I must have introduced to you some basic exceptions of tags, including the use of aren't I for positive sentences with the be verb am, and let's, let us, and let's, and a few other things. Okay, today, let's focus on the screen. This is on. We were here last time, and on your screen, you can read the startling tags. Now, why this startling tags? Let's understand. Starting with the first example, each child was given a prize. Now, what is the complication here? What is so startling here? The word each, like the other cases, every is a quantifier, It is here used as, adjective because it governs the word child, each child. So each and every always takes a singular noun, and with that you use a singular verb. But when you form the tag, because you have to address all those distributive number of children who are discussed here in this sentence, the tag for this becomes weren't they. Past tense should remain the same. I told you this time and again. See, was becomes were because you're addressing not just a child, in the tag that you're using, you're addressing all of them. So it becomes weren't they, positive, negative tag. Similarly, every shop was decorated with flowers become, weren't they. Tense and the plural connective for these cases. Now, what about nobody? Nobody has called for me. It's one singular person, but at the same time, in the distributive order, it is again many. So I would consider they pronoun. It's a subject pronoun I would bring here, like the rules I have taught. And look at the tense here. Has called is perfect tense. So in perfect tense for plural, I would consider have verb. So the answer would be nobody has called for me. Have they. Now, why have they? Because there is a word nobody which is negative. All right? So remember that. Now, none of those customers were happy. So again, none is a negative sentence, and this is where, past tense. So you go to make it. Okay, were they? None of those customers were happy. Were they? Simple as this. Now, some of the other beginning words like somebody, everybody, all, one of the, two of the, many of the, there are many expressions. For all, you must focus very accurately and acutely. You have to show this keen interest in understanding your subject. Like, few examples I will do with somebody. Somebody is knocking at the door. Okay, aren't they? See, how do I make it tag? Everybody is focused now. Aren't they? Everybody is not here. Are they? That's how I make it. Now, all is interesting in a sense. Okay, there is one particular example which is obvious, and it is repeated in exams if you're taking next year SEE. So, see if I write all is well. The tag is all is well. Or like isn't it? That's how you make it. Isn't it? See, all's well, isn't it? Why you consider all singular representing things? But can I also say something like all are well? If I am intending to introduce to you not the things but people, like all people, all are well. So maybe I would use aren't they? That's how, things keep on changing. So I always tell you, I'm repeating this, let me restate that line. Focus on the intention of the speaker. What is he exactly trying to communicate to you? This is what matters. It matters. So one is the same case. Now, one is listening to me. All right. If I say one is listening to me, isn't one, because I use the same one as a subject, I should bring that as the subject pronoun in the tag. But when you're using like one of the students, see, I'll put it here. One of, I'll remove this S. One of the students. You know the verb, plays, because it's for one out of many. You're talking about one. One of the students plays the piano. So how do you make a tag for this? One of the students plays the piano. It's one. So you will consider its plays is a verb. So you will require the present verb, and that is doesn't or don't. That's a choice for you. All right. One of the students plays the piano. Now who's this one? If it is a boy or a girl, I prefer to say like does and negative as a word. Doesn't one. All right. See, doesn't one. One of the students plays the piano. Doesn't one. Or if you are meaning to say like the students here are all boys, then I can use doesn't he. Better I focus on one because one is used, and that would avoid the ambiguity of understanding the subject. Now let's move on. There are negative frequency words in tags. This is one important part where you'll have to understand what are those that are negative. The sentences, there are words that mark the sentence is negative, like the previous one, nobody, none. So there are some words you can focus on my screen that I've displayed for you. The words like scarcely, barely, rarely, hardly, merely, never, seldom. Whenever you see these words in your sentences, you should know that these are negative sentences, so the tags are positive. I'll just take one example of hardly, because this is a word that will create confusion. Look at the sentences that I'm going to draw. If I say, I hardly work. I hardly work, which means I actually don't work. That is the meaning, all right? Or if I work very less. So I hardly work, this is negative, so the answer here is this. Do I? I hardly work. Do I? Why positive tag? Because this statement is negative. There are some students, who prefer to write a sentence like, this. I work, hardly. This is how they perform. Like they want to show that they really, really work hard. But this is absolutely wrong. All right. Hardly is used this way. It is introduced, before the verb. So if I want to focus on the idea that I work hard, I simply write I work hard, and the tag becomes don't I. So here, Why I have picked up the word hardly, not only because the reason is that this is negative, the reason is also the position of words matter. Like one more example I would bring, but this is not for the negative words that I have shown on the screen. This is to make you understand the positioning of the words. Like definitely, see, I will, Tefinitely. I will definitely phone you. Okay. The tag, of course, you know, I will definitely phone you is negative tag. Okay, one tie. But if I make a negative sentence of this, should I write like I will not definitely? No. So you will make a slight change in the position of your Definitely. I definitely won't phone you, and the tag becomes okay, will I? That is how we understand the positioning of the word. That was the extra tip I give it to you. All right, this is the last space that I have got for making you understand tags, and this space is quite complex, so you stay with me, listen very carefully. Exam will ask you a question from this particular part. Main clause or dependent clause agreement. What is this? A simple case, I will bring it to you. Like a moment ago, while I was preparing for this class, I was in the reception and my eyes caught the attention on a news that I was reading. Quite an interesting sentence, was it? I will put that here, okay, and we'll discuss with that, and then we'll go to the examples that I've brought here for you people. So the sentence was, okay, this. Locke smiled on a young Nigerian boy, okay, who went viral for dancing in the rain. This was one interesting topic that I caught. I was reading this. Now, interesting because the boy was really lucky enough. He got the scholarship afterwards, belonging from a poor community. He got the scholarship with this particular video. But here I brought this, okay, to make you understand the nature of sentences. See, Locke smiled on a young Nigerian boy is one sentence. Who went viral for dancing in the rain is another sentence. When you put two sentences together into one, we have introduced clause like you have studied in your school with your teachers. Now, how do I add a tag here if you were asked a question like this? Because we have got two sentences. The first sentence is okay here with the verb smile in past tense. Second is went, okay, and that is, of course, the Nigerian boy. Now, are you going to agree the tag for this or this? My answer is very simple, okay. You always go for the main clause agreement. Now, what is the main clause? Locke smiled on a young Nigerian boy is the main clause. So this is the main clause. I focus on this. This is what is being communicated to me. And therefore, okay, I would choose the appropriate verb into negative tag because of the positive sentence. And because Locke is the subject, its subject pronoun that I bring over here is it. So it's din it. Like Locke smiled on a young Nigerian boy who went viral for dancing in the rain. Din it. That's how I do it. Very simple. But are all examples going to be as simple as this? Let's study. On the screen, extreme focus. Look at the first one, quite common. Okay, this is, I don't think that it will rain tomorrow. I've given you three tags. Do you, or want it, or do I? Now see, how to choose the right answer. If I am a speaker, what is my intention? If I think like, I don't think that it will rain tomorrow, okay? If I'm asking my listener, do you also think this? I would use do you. If my focus is in the secondary clause, the dependent clause, it will rain tomorrow on that particular idea, I would use want it. All right? But if I am doubtful, okay, on myself, on my thinking, I don't think, okay, that it will rain tomorrow, I might also say, do I? Do I think that way? So it depends upon the situation. Now, how to make it clear? Let's study a few more examples and then jump into the conclusion. It's always bad to make a hasty conclusion right because it will make you meet the accident. So let us understand these sentences. See, he says, number 2, okay, I'm reading. He says, it's from the screen. He says that it will rain tomorrow. Unlike the first sentence, in the second sentence, he says the object is very clarified that it will rain tomorrow. So the focus is what he said. He says that it will rain tomorrow. Okay, he could have said any other things about myself, about you, about others. But the focus is he says. What does he say? That is the focus. So I would use doesn't he. He says that it will rain tomorrow, doesn't he? That is the tag for that. So I agree in the main clause. I agree it with the main clause. Next, I think the youth must participate in politics. Now here, interesting thing is, more than important. What is something more than important? Is it like I think, or the idea that I'm giving, or my opinion, like the youth must participate in politics? If we exclude I think, just cancel that, all right? Just remove that part and speak, the youth must participate in politics. If that is my opinion, I would agree that, okay, with the verb must, because I have used must as the main verb in my sentence. So the youth must participate in politics, mustn't they? That is the concern. I'm seeking confirmation, okay, from somebody whom I'm talking to. Do you agree with me on this? The youth must participate in politics. I think this, okay? So do you agree on this? Now you're asking for that confirmation, so you can ask mustn't they. All right? Now, I respect him because he's a teacher. Two sentences, similar example. See, I respect him because he's a teacher. What is the main idea that I'm sharing? Is it like he is a teacher or I respect him? Which is the main clause? I respect him is the main clause because it's clearly understood. But if I say because he's a teacher, it's a partial sentence. It's not a complete sentence. It's the secondary, dependent clause, subordinate clause. So in such cases, you have to always shift your focus in the main clause, which is I respect him. So the answer is don't I. I respect him, don't I? I don't need the second one because he's a teacher. He could be somebody else, maybe a doctor, okay, maybe of the elder brother, whoever he is. But the concern is I respect him, don't I? That matters. So you have to seek this idea, the intention. Second word, I would rather call you, wouldn't I? Okay, for that, I will bring one more example here. See there? I would rather call you. Now, why did I say I would rather? Because of the word rather. And this is a tip for all of you out there, my students. Okay, I will mention it, a TIB tip here for this. Now, if you have a subject and introduced with the apostrophe mark and D. If you have rather, okay, this D is would, and you will choose the would verb. If instead of rather, if you're given a word, okay, better, all right, instead of rather, if you see the word better, it is, this D is had. So I would rather, I had better. But with this, they both take verb one. No change in the verb composition. The infinitive is fine, okay? The verb one structure doesn't change, but this is important. So here, I would mark it. I would rather call you, wouldn't I? If there is better, I had better call you, okay? That is hadn't I, to not be confused. The next sentence, again, with the clause formation. When Sarah arrived, we had already made our order. Hadn't we? Why I'm agreeing it with the second sentence. In the sentence, I respect him because he's a teacher. I agreed with the first sentence because first sentence was the main clause there. Here, when Sarah arrived, it's partial sentence. I don't get a full meaning when Sarah arrived. When Sarah arrived, what? I don't know. But when I say like, we had already made our order, I understand it to the fullest. So this is the main clause, and therefore, I agree with this main clause tag. And therefore, the tag is hadn't we. Done. Positive, negative. Second last example. If you want to cancel the flight, you can do it now. Now again here, see, if you want to cancel the flight, does it give you the full meaning? Is it the main clause? Is it the main clause, the principal clause? Or is it the secondary or let's say dependent clause? What is it? Okay, find out the idea. So I would come to know very quickly, if you want to cancel the flight, it is incomplete, it is dependent, so I cannot agree the tag with this, so I will agree it with, you can do it now, can't you? And the last one, I suppose, is similar like I think, I don't think, I imagine, I fancy, I am wondering, whatever you say. I suppose David was enjoying the concert. Now, what is the main idea here? Is it like supposition? Or You're talking about something that David was doing, like David was enjoying the concert, because this is the primary focus I am giving as a speaker. I would agree, or I would want you to agree with this or disagree. So I will make the tag accordingly, and that is, wasn't he? Okay, there we go. We are done with the first session for today's class, question tags, and I've tried to explain you a whole lot of things in understanding tag, its purpose, the intonations, the intention of the speakers, and I also gave you certain tips, including the position of words in English language that matter a lot. Now we're moving on with the next session. Let's do as much as possible from subject-verb agreement, which is also called, okay, concord. Now, here too, I will presume a bit of information that you know subject-verb agreement, and I don't have to teach you right from the very beginning. But again, it is important to discuss about one thing before we jump into subject and verb agreement, that is the components of subject and verb agreement. As simple as one of the examples, okay, because this is very contextual. We are, okay, learning English. Now, contextually, I have picked the sentence for all of us. We're learning English now. So we know we is subject, okay, are is the verb that agrees with the subject, okay, in number as well as in tense, and the tense is marked, okay, be plus verb 4. This is present continuous tense, and the rest of the parts you must have studied, okay, on your own. The focus here is now these two, subject and verb. How to agree them, okay, in complicated numbers. How to understand the nature of the subject, whether it is singular or plural, the basic concepts, and then we will choose the complex subject-verb agreement today. Right now, okay, we'll deal with some interesting, okay, parts. So I have selected these topics on my experiences and observations that students do have certain difficulties with very few things, not all. So I have brought only these difficult sections, all right? Always singular cases. See, after the expression, if you're using one of the, like one of the, or kind of the, or type of the, okay, you're always using a singular verb. One of my friends is coming to see me. It's like out of many friends, only one. It could be anyone, not a particular one, but just one out of many, and therefore I use one of my friends is coming to see me. But if I use two of my friends, three of my friends, four of my friends, many of my friends, okay, then I will use plural again, are coming to see me. When talking about sums, you need some measurement. Okay, this can be a little confusing, but you would know with this example. See, how do I understand the subject? When I say 10,000 pounds, it's the whole lot of money put in one lump sum amount. It's just one. So 10,000 pounds, 1 million pounds, 2 billion pounds, whatever you say, okay, though it appears like plural, the concept is singular. The nearest town is 5 kilometers. Now, when you say 5 kilometers, what happened? 5 kilometers is inseparable. Come on, that is just one single road. Though you use, okay, the number 5 or 10 or 100, whatever you say, that particular idea becomes one. 1 kilometers, 2 kilometers, okay, 3 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers. That's the same thing, one singular subject. 2 and 2 is 4 because 2 and 2 are not separate idea. It's 2 and 2 put together. It's one single idea. Therefore, it becomes singular. All right? That's the concept. Now, when the subject has two singular nouns joined by or. Now, from here, we will start becoming a little slow. The pencil or the pen is in the drawer. Here, the focus, we always have a complication when there are two subjects introduced to us by using different connectives or conjunctions. Whenever you have two subjects connected using conjunctions, we have got two subjects. The first subject is called firmer subject, all right? Second one is called later subject. See the spelling difference? Not single T, it's double T. Firmer, later. First, second. So Which is the main prime subject in our sentence? How to understand that? There are rules, and this is what we are discussing. If you're using or as a conjunction and you're combining two nouns, the subject is always later. All right? So here you should know, I'm not agreeing the verb is with the pencil, but it's with the pen. The pencil or the pen is in the drawer. Now, if there are a number of pens I use at the back, the pencil or the pens, if I say pens, it becomes or in the drawer. Similarly, okay, when after a subject we have a phrase starting with as well as, in addition to, with, few examples I will deal, okay, you can see on the screen too, focus on the screen one more time. When you have these sorts of, okay, appositive, which is called appositive in grammar, I'll show you that in the next slide. When you're using appositive in grammar, okay, we focus on the primary subject introduced right in the beginning of the sentence, like the team captain is the primary subject. The team captain as well as his players. We ignore as well as his players because that is extra information given to you. All right? That is not our focus. Our focus from the speaker is the team captain is answers. So, is answers, agreeing with the team captain. And the second example, the woman with all the dogs. We're not focused about all the dogs. Our focus goes on the woman. So, the woman walks down my street. The woman with all dogs walks down my street. Do not be confused with the nearest word that is kept to you. And this happens when you use some appositive structures like as well as, together with, along with, but also. These are some examples. In addition to, with, along with, I have already said. So see some other example now. Nouns connected with each, okay, one, either, or either of, neither of. Indefinite pronouns, someone, something, anybody, anything, no one, nothing, everybody, everything. Take a singular verb. Examples. Each of these hot dogs is juicy. Okay, the focus is each, so it goes on one particular hot dog, not all. Distributive order. So this is a special case. So whenever you have each and every, always remember your verb is singular, never ever plural. It looks like plural because there is a word hot dogs, but the verb is singular. Everybody knows Mr. Jones. Either of the answers is correct. So see, answers, but still is correct because you're using either of the. But if you're using, okay, either the question or the answers, now with that, there's a slight change, all right? When you use the conjunction either, neither, okay, only, and a case when you use either with or, connecting two ideas, this always takes singular. When you use this technique, you always agree with the later subject, like these two examples. See, very clear. Either of the answers is correct. Either the question or the answers are correct. That's how we focus on the context of these. Move on. Okay. Look at the subjects, the concept, the ideas like mathematics, civics, athletics, okay, measles, mums, news. Though they have got S at the end, are we considering them singular or plural? Let's study. Maths is my favorite subject because it's a subject, one single, done. The news, okay, has been commented everywhere. News, though it is plural appearing word, it is always taken singular. So the news surprises me. All right, the news is interesting. That's how I would say. University degree in physics. Now, whatever the examples, my only purpose to bring this idea is to not be confused with words that ends in S, and don't just consider that they are plural. They might be singular. All right. Now, plural, singular. Sometimes we have some sort of confusion, especially with collective nouns. Like here, I have listed. Can you read them on your screen, please? Just read aloud for yourself. Family, team, group, crowd, class, company, government, committee. They take a verb in singular or plural. Now here comes the bang. Okay, I'm going to hit the nail on the wall. How to do this? For that, you need to understand the concept. Family can be singular, family can be plural. But when it is singular and when it is plural, let's study. We prefer a singular verb when the noun is regarded as a single unit, of course, and how? Here. The family is a very important part of society. It's a concept. That's an idea. But when I say the, like just going back quickly with another sentence at the bottom with green texture. My family are on holiday. With that, what I understand is like I have got a lot of members in my family, and everyone, almost every one of them, is enjoying a holiday in different locations. All right, not together. They've split they are enjoying the vacation somewhere else in different areas. So with that concept, I understand this family is now plural for me. Hence, I will use plural verb like my family are on holidays. If we take the example of species, see there, the species is in danger of extinction. One whole species, singular concept. Government, the government think they can solve the problem. They. So you're talking about individually. All right, so it becomes plural. The government think they can. There are thousands of species of butterflies. Now we're not talking about just one, but many. More to go on, recapping the concepts quickly. Okay, you can just see on your screen. The only thing, okay, that I hate in life is time, because it really deceives all of us. Right now too, we all are deceived. I thought I could do a whole lot of thing and give you more details on subject-verb agreement, but time is out. This is a sad part, but yet it is true, and we have to abide by the time. We got to move on so that the next thing can take place of me. Anyways, okay, hope you had great lessons with me throughout the month, and this was my 5th class for you people. And I have a big hope that we will meet again with some more interesting thing to discover together with language. Keep on listening, keep on watching, keep on having fun with language. And with this, maybe someday you will be able to write lots of stories and poems, and that's how you will be adding a lot of things in your bucket list. Till then, have a wonderful time practicing with my English language drill. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.